అందరికీ నమస్కారములు. Today is another fresh topic we are starting with in our course on advanced level 2 certificate course on Sanatana Dharma. This is the second batch going on. We have so far finished very important topics like Vedas, Vedangas, and we have started with yoga and also Sanskritam language. In between, we had some classes on Shodasa Samskaramulu and Sanatana Dharma introduction and importance of Sanskritam also by Visalash Garu. Now we are going to start a new topic, Darshanas, going into depth. We already had introduction in the basic course. Now, let us start the session with paying our respects to our country by reciting Vande Mataram by Challa Chittibabu Garu. Challa Chittibabu Garu, please.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malayaj Sitalam, Sasya Syamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram. Subrajyosna pulakitayaminim pullakusumita drumadala shobhinim suhasinim sumadhura bhashinim sukhadam varadam mataram vande mataram Vande Mataram. Namaskar.
Vande Mataram. ధన్యవాదములండి చల్లా చిట్టిబాబు గారు. Thank you so much. Now let us request Jayashree garu to chant Prarthana, please.
Namaskaram andi andarki. 1 minute meditation. After that 3 times Omkaram. गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु। ॐ श्री महासरस्वत्यै नमः। गुरुरेव गतिः गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरो मां पाहि गुरो। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. క్షమించాలి, ఓంకారం చెప్పడం మర్చిపోయినా ఈ ప్రేయర్ చేసే టెన్షన్లో. చాలా రోజులైంది కదా.
ఓకే.
ఓకే అండి, పర్వాలేదు. ధన్యవాదములు.
ధన్యవాదాలు సార్.
Now let us request our Guruji, CSR Prabhu Garu, to start the webinar, please.
नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः. Okay, friends, in this course, our objective was to deliver a scientific understanding of our ancient Indian knowledge systems, starting from the Vedas. So, I have given a few lectures on Vedas, 2 lectures, overview of important suktas of the Vedas. So, you got a taste of what the Veda contains. And of course, there are some more deeper scientific truths which may be uncovered, which were shown in the Aruna Prashna, which is, of course, is yet to be confirmed. It is a theory. Now, there are many other things which are not known or which are not understood or which are not confirmed. Because Anantahi Veda, it is Vedas are infinite body of knowledge. Now, this infinite body of knowledge, Vedas include the Upanishads as such, because the Shruti, the word Shruti, or what is heard, is made up of 4 parts: Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. So all the 4, out of the 4, the first one is Samhita, which is the original text of the mantras and suktas of the Veda Samhita, actual core text, corpus. Then we have the Brahmanas, which are dealing with Yajna Yaga Kratus, the manuals of performance of the Karmakanda Kratu. Then the Aranyakas are forest discussions in forests, and which finally became the what is called the Upanishad, that is the word Upanishad strictly means sitting together, but actually it is pondering into the fundamental questions of life, of universe, of creation, creator. So this entire body of knowledge, the Vedas, the Vedangas, which are only instruments to understand the Veda, and the Upanishads, the entire body of knowledge. Upanishads are purely theoretical, philosophical knowledge. There is no karma kanda there. Karma kanda is already finished in the Brahmana Granthas, which are explaining lab manual type of things into the Karma Kanda, where the Veda mantras are chanted. Please understand, Veda mantras are chanted in the Yajna and Yaga, various Karma Kanda, and while chanting, they put ghee, cow ghee into the fire with particular procedure. And sometimes the procedures are very complex. So now this entire body of knowledge, the infinite amount of knowledge, because today we have a knowledge model of, say, physics, chemistry, biology like this, a taxonomy, and we have the knowledge model of internet, email, journals, books, and papers, and so on. So, whereas in the ancient times, this is a different knowledge model. They had all subjects, but in a different model. So now the concept of darshan, in Hindi also, darshan means philosophy, a perspective, a drishtikon. In a particular perspective, when you think in a particular angle, like this, you can think like this, or you can see like this. Suppose you have a mountain. If you see it from one angle, it appears in one way. If you go behind it and see, it appears in a different way. And if you look at from another angle like this, it can appear in many, many ways, depending on how and where you have your perspective. So if you take this entire knowledge as a mountain, these different darshanas are giving different perspectives. So what are those different perspectives? It can be a logical perspective. As I told you, the main difference between other religions and our Sanatana Dharma is proof, scientificness, proof. Everything can be proved with a logical basis. It is not a faith, blind belief. You have to believe that Jesus was born and he did all this. There is no need to believe. We can question anything. Whereas in those religions, if you question, the religion will collapse totally. It is built on a foundation of plain lies. Jesus was never there, but the whole thing is like, Pushpa 2 movie. That character in Pushpa 2 is a myth. He's not there. But everybody talks as if he's there. They behave and refer as if he's there. In the same way, characters in Bible, all the characters, Abraham, David, Moses, Jesus, all these characters are fictitious. They are like Pushpa movie. They are created to create a religion. Yet they are being referred as if they are real. And the whole religion is based on that. So if you ask a question, who is this personality? Was he really there? Where is the proof? You cannot find, because in the historical records or in archaeological excavation, nothing can be found. So the whole religion will collapse. And the same Bible was quoted into the Quran. 90% of Quran is Bible only. So 90% of Quran being Bible and Bible being a fiction, the whole thing is getting exposed. The key personalities are fictitious. It's a very dangerous situation. So now it's not like that in Sanatana Dharma. You can challenge, you can question, you can ask for proof. In fact, there is a whole subject called proofology, and that is called Nyaya Darshana. What is proof? What is valid knowledge? Epistemology is valid knowledge. How valid knowledge can be acquired, and various types of proof. That is called Nyaya Darshana. Nyaya means logic or tarka or anvikshaki. Now, similarly, we have the other perspective of mind, psychology, self, consciousness. So there comes the Yoga Darshana. So if you want to look at the universe from the perspective of mind, what is mind? From the perspective of psychology, from the perspective of self, consciousness, conditioning, etc., etc. How to control the mind, how to calm the mind, what are the techniques, what are the practices for calming the mind. All this is Yoga Darshan. So now, similarly, for this whole Karma Kanda, which I just now told you, there's a whole Darshana called Mimamsa Darshan, which believes that through Karma Kanda you get particular results. Not only belief, it is true also. And finally, we have the Vedanta Darshana, which is the summum bonum of all the other darshanas, 6 darshanas. Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Mimamsa, and Vedanta. Vaiseshika is physics, the physical perspective of the universe. You know, obviously, like in modern science, the whole thing is physical perspective. So the physical perspective is Vaiseshika Darshana. I'll take a whole class on that in my book. We'll go deep into my book. And Nyaya Darshana is the methodology, Pramana Shastra, used for understanding the universe and its phenomena, which Vaiseshika does. Then Yoga Darshana is psychological. So what is left? Mimamsa is ritual understanding. It is called Purva Mimamsa. That is old Mimamsa. Mimamsa word literally means analysis. And Uttara Mimamsa or the later Mimamsa is Vedanta, also known as Vedanta, the last one. And that is the latest. Last means in time sequence last. So Vyasa wrote Brahma Sutras, which is the foundation of Vedanta Darshana. And he is the last in the sequence. We have Kapila Muni, who delivered Sankhya Darshana, is the first. The very first inquiry or perspective, the philosophical perspective of understanding what is universe, nature, Prakriti, and man, Purusha. Man means not just any man or woman, it is the observer. So who is this man and who is this nature? The basic fundamental framework. So Kapila Muni gives. Kapila Muni was born to Devahuti, and he's most wonderfully, he taught the Sankhya theory first to his own mother, that is Devahuti. And he is the oldest. He is also an avatar of Vishnu. There are 24 avatars, as you know. He is the oldest in the sequence of the Shad Darshanas. There are 6 Astika Darshanas, which accept the existence of God directly or indirectly. Of course, Sankhya is known as Nirishwara Sankhya. There is no Ishvara, and Yoga is known as Seshwara Sankhya. Sankhya only, but extended with Ishvara, is called Yoga. And the Patanjali Sutras, the Patanjali who wrote the Yoga Sutras is very ancient. He is next to Kapila Muni. He witnessed Sivatandavam along with Vyagrapada at Chidambaram. So, now this ancient Patanjali is possibly different from the later Patanjali who wrote the commentary to Panini's Ashtadhyayi Sutra Patha. So Panini is around 7th century BC. So this Patanjali Mahabhashya is obviously after 7th century BC. Whereas when you talk of the Yoga Darshana Patanjali, he is much more earlier. He is after Kapila Muni, but he is before Vyasa, way before Vyasa. Vyasa wrote Brahma Sutras. Vyasa is relatively recent. He's still there. He's alive. One of the Chiranjeevis, 7 Chiranjeevis. So the Vyasa wrote the Vedanta Darshana Brahma Sutras, last one. And Kapila wrote the Sankhya Sutra, which is the first one. After Kapila, Patanjali wrote the Yoga Sutras. And Jaimini wrote the Mimamsa Sutras. And Gautama wrote Nyaya Sutras. In the sequence, Sankhya Yoga, then Nyaya Vaiseshika. So Gautama Rishi, on whose name Gautami, Godavari is there, he wrote the Sankhya, so the Nyaya Sutras. We'll cover that in detail. Then after that, Kanada Maharshi wrote the Vaiseshika Sutras, on which I wrote the physics interpretation textbook, which we'll cover in depth in one of these 3-4 sessions we have on Darshanas. Then, of course, the Jaimini, who is the disciple of Vyasa. Paila, Jaimini, Paila, Vaisampayana, Jaimini, and Sumanta. 4 disciples were given 4 Vedas. So Jaimini was given the Samaveda. So the same Jaimini wrote the Mimamsa Sutras. So why they wrote sutras? Because that is the way they were able to express better. Now if you start writing, now I am also an author, some of you may also have written something. You go on writing endlessly. But they adopted a different method. If they write thousands and thousands of pages, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to read or understand also, let alone write it. Writing also will take, my first book I took 7 years. So it is a very long process. So what they did, they adopted a new method. They gave formulas in sequence. So and they define the previous words in the next sutra. Sutra means formula. So when you expand it, it will be becoming big. So the entire Yoga Sutras are just 4 chapters each, or 100 sutras. But when you expand, it will become a thick book. So that's a beautiful way of writing. We cannot write like that today. Today, authors cannot write because they are not sutrakaras. They are sutrakaras. So, Lalita ji one day told me that I am the sutrakara for the present community of students. So, it's as bad as that, I am worthless, but I myself will look like sutrakara for the students or participants of courses. But the sutrakaras are so great that their sutras have to be understood by others only through commentaries. So people wrote commentaries. Vyasa wrote commentary to Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Which Vyasa we don't know. Same Vyasa, another Vyasa we don't know. And for Brahma Sutras, Shankaracharya wrote commentary. Just to believe that. That's why it is said that Shiva and Vishnu, they support each other. You must have heard this. Shivaya Vishnu Rupaya, Shiva Rupaya Vishnave. So we have got this Prarthana sloka also. Sutra Bhashya Krito Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. That is Vyasa and Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya is supposed to be an avatar of Shiva, and Vyasa is an avatar of Vishnu. So Vyasa wrote the Vedanta Sutras and Shankaracharya wrote their commentaries. And like this, every time this happens. Of course, Patanjali is not either Vishnu or Shiva, but he is Adisesha. He is 1,000-headed Adisesha, who is the Lakshmana in the case of Ramayana and is Balarama in the case of Bhagavad. So all this, and Sankhya is again by Vishnu's avatar, Kapila Muni. So Sankhya is extended in terms of practical procedures in yoga by Patanjali, who is Vishnu's associate, like Balarama with Krishna, or like Lakshmana with Rama. So Patanjali is with Kapila. This is my own interpretation. So Sankhya Yoga, of course, the people like Gautama and Kanada, they are not avatar Purushas. So they are Maharshis, and then we have the Veda Jaimini, who is a disciple of Vyasa. And then Vyasa himself who wrote the Brahma Samhitas. Now, these 6 are the Astika Darshanas. That means they accept God in one form or the other, indirectly or directly, whatever. Whereas there are Nastika Darshanas separately. Bauddha, Jaina, Charvaka, Lokayata. They start with the premise there is no God, there is no need for a God. The universe came on its own. And death itself is moksha. So, there are many Nastika Darshanas, and totally how many darshanas? 24 darshanas are accepted, including some people added Vyakarana of Panini also has a Darshana. There is a Sarva Darshana Samuchaya, a very famous text, 24 darshanas have been identified. And many of them are Nastika Darshanas. And within the Astika Darshanas, of course, they have identified Advaita Darshana, Advaita Darshana, Visishtadvaita Darshana, like this. So this 24 darshanas, comprising of Astika Darshanas and Nastika Darshanas, Buddhist, Jain, Buddha Sutras, Jaina Sutras, Tripitakas, Lalita Vistaram, these are all the Buddhist texts. And Jain, we have the Jaina Sutras and many other Jain mathematics and many other Jain texts. They are all included here as Darshana. They are all Indian knowledge systems, but they are not Astika. They don't accept the existence of God or Ishvara. In fact, that's the main difference between Buddhist, Jain and Sanatana Dharma. In the Vedas, the existence of a superpower or a creator or Ishvara is asserted repeatedly again and again. All the Veda mantras are praising the Supreme Being in different forms of manifestations of different devatas. Whereas the Buddha and Jaina darshanas, they don't want to accept the existence of creator or God or Ishvara. They say there's no need at all. Everything happens on its own. So now whatever be the darshana, like Lokayata, Charvaka and Jabali, these kind of people, they have given totally materialistic, heroistic and what is called materialism, dialectal materialism. The communism also is dialectal materialism. That means only economic or physical things exist. There is no spiritual entity. There is no need. Our DK, DMK, it's all belong to that category. They are Nastikas. And they are also having their place within not only in the Indian political discourse and Indian ethos, but even in the philosophical discourse. Even in the philosophical frameworks, Nastika Darshanas have their place. And modern day science is also Nastika Darshana. It doesn't have to accept, they don't want to accept any intelligent principle behind nature, creation. So they want to say only creation exists by itself, on its own. Now, all these darshanas put together, 24 darshanas, will take only 6 darshanas in Sanatana Dharma because we belong to the Astika community. So in the Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, the Asuris, Rakshasas will say, there is no Ishvara. Jagadahur Anishwaram, in the 16th chapter, he talked about the Asuri Sampat. So they say that the Jagat has no Ishvara. So we will not accept that position, though it is there. The beauty in India is, even if you are a Nastika, you can still be a Hindu. Because within even by Constitution of India, Buddhist, Jain, Sikh, all are called Hindus, as per the law. So now the Astika Darshanas only we are going to discuss. I just told you for your benefit about the Nastika Darshanas. They do exist. And we will now examine how come the Astika Darshanas and Nastika Darshanas both exist. And how come so many darshanas are there instead of only one? of course, in the case of Islam and Christianity, there is no concept of Darshana itself. They have one book and they will say you blindly believe it. First of all, they don't teach even what is there in the book. They'll be telling all lies to their followers or new entrants or attracting outsiders to become Christians. They'll tell all lies and then they'll cheat and they will, like, for example, they'll take small children to church and they give chocolates. And those children belong to other religions. They'll tell, if you want more such chocolates, you come to church frequently. And then you slowly become Christian like that. So it's all fraud, psychological induction, and then giving bribes. And in the case of Islam, it was force. The invaders used the sword. Either you, even Kashmir, they gave this statement, either you convert, or you get killed, or you run away. They gave a third option of running away. In the case of Mughal times, they have the third option as jizya tax. Either you convert or get killed or pay the extra tax, jizya tax. Now, anyway, I will not go into all those aspects now. Now, coming back to the Darshanas, but let us do some kind of brainstorming, a very open, free thinking. How so many Darshanas came? And what is the fundamental question we are trying to answer? You see, common sense, any child or any man, any woman can see that this world is there. Jagat. You can't say it's not there. You can see with your eyes, you can hear with your ears. With the five senses, you are able to sense the Jagat. The word Jagat itself is Jate Rehta hai. Ja, ga, ga, goes on changing. So, though it goes on changing, it exists, Jagat, number one. Number two, who is watching this Jagat? I. That means Jiva. I also have to exist. Consciousness or man. You can give any name. So I and Jagat or nature, you can call it nature, they both exist for sure. So that's why in Sankhya Darshan only these two are discussed. The third is God, creator. Whether this Jagat, this nature, is created by a creator, creator need not be a human being, it can be a principle, but it can be a power, an intelligent agency, intelligent being. So whether such an intelligent agency is there behind this universe, because anything that is to be seen, like I'm wearing, say, this shirt is manufactured by somebody. There is a creator for it. So in human creation, unless there is a creator and a creation process, nothing will be created. So the Jagat also, nature also, must be having a creator. That's a guess. Whether he is there or not, and whether if he is there, who is he? What is he? He means he is not a human being, we all know that. But what are his characteristics? Is he finite or is he infinite? Or is he human-like or non-human-like? That is a very big question, because these three things, the Triputi, it is called Triputi, Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. On these three things, the 24 darshanas came out over the last 10,000 years. Different rishis gave different theories. You can also give your own theory if you want. And then you can write a darshana text if you want, if you can. If you write the sutras, then you become Sutrakara. If you write Bhashya, Bhashya means it's not your own, you are writing commentary to others. Bhashyakara, Tikakara, Vyakhyanakara, or only a speaker, a lecturer. But if you are giving your own theory, if anybody of you are interested in writing your own theory, you can write. Explaining these three things. Either you reject. Now, all these 25 darshanas, including Advaita, Advaita, Visishta, Advaita, 25 Siddhantas are there. All of them are giving their own theory with small variations, sometimes big variations, about these three, Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. That's the main point. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. Because fundamental, what is this universe? How did it come? Whether it got created by itself or some creating principle is there behind it. If so, what is it? And how the creation took place? That's number one question. Number two question is, what is this universe itself? What does it contain? What are its constituents? What are its, that's what science explains. What are its components or internal parts or forces within it? And third is I. Who am I? So I suggest you all think about these three questions after finishing this class and come out with your own theory if you have any. You can take your time. In a day or two, you can come out with your own theory. If you can, if it is going to be different from the existing theories. So these 25 darshanas are 25 theories or 25 intellectuals like you, or more than you, are very great, depending on the person. Like the people involved are Vyasa, Kapila, Patanjali. So they give different interpretations. This is the introduction which I gave you today. Now I'll give you a little more touch of deeper, because last time also in the first level course we have given just a basic introduction, but this time we will go deeper. So today I will touch upon Sankhya and Yoga. Then we will go to Nyaya Vaiseshika tomorrow, and we will go to Vedanta, Mimamsa Vedanta day after tomorrow. Mimamsa is a subject which I am not really familiar, but I will go deep into Vedanta on the third day. So now today we will go into the Sankhya first and then Yoga, subject to the time constraint. So now let us touch upon Sankhya. As I told you, it is accepting only two, no three. He has not talked about creator. He has avoided that talk. He didn't say there is no creator. Buddha also never said there is no creator, but he was silent. And that silence was being interpreted by his disciples in different ways. So Sankhya was silent. Kapila, he simply said, common sense shows that I exist, man and nature, Prakriti. Prakriti and Purusha. These two are the fundamental things. So in fact, even Bhagavad Gita is a Sankhya text. It refers to Sankhya theory as fundamental. In fact, all philosophers, they base on Sankhya to start with, and then they add many things. Like Patanjali added Ishvara to Sankhya, then it became Seshvara Sankhya or Yoga. So in the Nirishvara Sankhya, there is no Ishvara. Of course, you can interpret many other things out of this model. In this model, only I and that is man and nature exist. Purusha and Prakriti. So what is Prakriti? What is Purusha? The best definition is given in Bhagavad Gita, which is a much later text. Bhagavad Gita is like a guidebook of all the knowledge before it. What is knowledge before it? All darshanas. Vedanta Darshana, Brahma Sutras, he has referred Brahma Sutra Padaischaiva, Hetu Madhir, Vinishchitai. He referred to it in the Bhagavad Gita. And then, of course, Yoga Sutras, he has referred to the entire yoga process. Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena Jagruhyate. So, in the 6th chapter. And then he has referred to Nyaya, he has referred to Gautama, he has referred to, of course, he did not refer to Kanada. And he has referred to Karma Kanda in a big way. Yajna, Yaga, and all that in a big way. In the 3rd chapter, in 4th chapter, Sahayajna Praja Sashtva Purovacha Prajapatihi Anena Prasavidvameshavostishta Kamadhuk Devan Bhavayatanevate Deva Bhavayantava parasparam bhavayanta shreyah paramavapsyatha. The yajna process he has explained. Yajna karmodbhavam vidhi. So, Parjanyad annad bhavati bhutani parjanyad anna sambhava. Yajnad bhavati parjanyo. Yajna karma samudbhava. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi. The sequence he has given. The karma kanda. Jaimini's Mimamsa Darshana is about karma kanda and its importance and its impact and its outcomes. And of course, Vyasa himself wrote Bhagavad Gita, so Vyasa will definitely refer to the Vedanta Darshana of the Brahma Sutra. But of course, Brahma Sutras are only summarizing the knowledge in the Upanishads. So that's why the Upanishads and the Brahma Sutras and Bhagavad Gita, three put together, they become one single entity called Prasthanatraya. And as I told you, gave you the assignment to think on your own, a new model if you can. So among you, those who want to become acharyas like Shankaracharya, you have an option to do one activity, to write commentaries to Upanishads or to Brahma Sutras and also to Bhagavad Gita. If you write commentaries independently, by chance, if you can manage to do it for all the three in your single lifetime, then you will become an acharya, comparable to all the other acharyas, Shankaracharya, Ramanacharya, Madhvacharya, and they all wrote commentaries to all the three. And they gave a model of their own, like Nimbarkacharya or Vallabhacharya. They're all recent people. They are so knowledgeable and so intelligent, they gave a model of their own. Shuddhadvaita is the model given by Vallabhacharya. Visishtadvaita is model given by Ramanujacharya. And they gave a model of their own by commenting on the same text which their predecessors who gave a different model gave commentaries to. Like Shankaracharya emphasized on Advaita. Shankaracharya did not develop Advaita. He has indoctrinated it, made it into a doctrine. It is already there from his Guru Parampara, Gaudapada onwards, Gaudapada Karika to Mandukya Upanishad. So he gave an Advaita interpretation to Bhagavad Gita, to Brahma Sutra, and to the Upanishads, principal Upanishads. He wrote commentaries to 10 principal Upanishads. So now, to challenge him and to add on to the list of the Acharyas, Ramanujacharya gave Visishtadvaita, extended, specialized Advaita, where he criticizes Shankaracharya. All these people who now Vaishnavas, the Ramanuja disciples, they all criticize Shankaracharya. But Shankaracharya is the basis. Then the third comes Madhvacharya, who is very recent, and I think he was in 14th, 15th century or something, 14th. So Vyasa appeared to him. Vyasa examined Madhvacharya's commentary, and they claim Vyasa approved his commentaries. So then Nimbarkacharya wrote, then Vallabhacharya wrote. So if you write the commentaries to all the three, that is the three components of the Prasthanatraya, Brahma Sutras, Upanishads. Upanishads is the first fundamental, we have studied already. So interpreting the content of the Upanishads in terms of Brahma Sutras, Vyasa did. So to interpret those Brahma Sutras in a different model of your own. And then Bhagavad Gita, of course. Bhagavad Gita, what is the difference between Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutras? Both are interpreting the same philosophical subject of the Upanishads, but in different ways. Brahma Sutras are meant strictly for scholars. There is a board there. Only scholars, deep scholars are allowed inside. Others cannot understand even one word. Whereas Bhagavad Gita is not like that. Bhagavad Gita is open to all. Anybody can understand, and they are understanding. And till today, the maximum, most popular book is Bhagavad Gita. But for that, a separate commentary was also written by Adi Shankaracharya and also by Ramanujacharya. It's called Sri Bhashya. And then Madhvacharya, and then Nimbarkacharya, and then Vallabhacharya, and so on. So now you decide how many of you want to become acharyas. Who wants to become acharyas? You can send a message to us. And who wants to Not to become Acharya, but give own model, own theory, own interpretation without writing commentaries. So you decide that and let me know. I will also try to follow you. Okay, now coming to the Sankhya Darshana. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidya Anadi Ubhavapi. So, is it not surprising? I am explaining the Sankhya Sutras of Kapila Muni, Sankhya Darshana, through Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita contains everything. Eko Shastro Devaki Putra Gita. If you understand Bhagavad Gita, you understood everything. That is the beauty of it. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidya Anadi Ubhavapi. Vikaranscha Gunanscha Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. Karya Karana Kartrutve Hetu Prakriti Ruchyate. Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktritve Hetu Ruchyate. He has defined what is Purusha and what is Prakriti. The fundamental framework of Sankhya Darshana has been given in Bhagavad Gita very explicitly. What is Prakriti? Nature. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidya Anadi Ubha. Both are parallel. Prakriti and Purusha both run parallelly. They always exist. They never were born, not they are going to die. Anadi Ubhavapi. Vikaranscha Gunanscha Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. So Prakriti has Vikaras and Gunas, born out of Prakriti. What are the Gunas? We know the Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. What are the Vikaras? Vikara means change. Kara, Vikara, Akara, Prakara, Vikara. By adding different upasargas, the Kara word is giving different meanings. So Akara means form, Vikara means change, Prakara means process. So by adding the word V, it means change. So what is that change? First is birth, then growth, then maturity, then gradual degeneration, decay and death. So these are the 6 vikaras. So Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Ubhava Vikaranscha Gunanscha Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. Prakriti Sambhavan. So in nature, everything is existing based on these 2 things, the vikaras and the gunas. So the 3 gunas are in balance. They are opposite of each other. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas are exactly opposite of each other. So what is the universe, nature? It is nothing but equilibrium of opposites. Like for example, motion and stability. There is motion and stability, equilibrium, and there is strength. Sattva, Rajas, Tama. We will discuss in Bhagavad Gita what are the 3 gunas. Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati. Okay. Sattva is supposed to be the strength, the essence of Sattvam Rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhava nibadhanti mahabahu dehe dehi namavyayam. Again, the gunas are explained in Bhagavad Gita. There is a whole chapter on it, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So this Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are 3 gunas born in nature, prakriti sambhavaha, nibadhanti mahabahu, dehe, dehinam avyayam. So these 3 things tie up this self, Atman, inside this body. Dehe, dehinam avyayam. Dehin, avyaya is self who is same as Brahman, Paramatma Brahman, indestructible. You are Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamas. But you are being tied up. You are constrained. You are in the bondage, you are in the jail of these 3 gunas inside this body. This body itself is a jail, and these 3 gunas are your chains. They are tying you up. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam. It is, sattva is defined as purity, light. Sukha sangena badhati, jnana sangena janaha. It will tie you down through 2 forces. One is knowledge. See, knowledge is also a bonding. And the second is comfort, pleasure, happiness, sukha. Sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena chanagha rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam karma sangena badhnati. The rajoguna is second one. It is made of attachment, raga. Trishna sanga samudbhavam. It is born out of craving, thirst, not just physical thirst. Pipasa. Trishna sanga samudbhavam, and attachment, connection, bonding. You know, the whole samsara is based on this only. Otherwise, there is no samsara. And it will tie you down, bind you, chain you with karma, action, action, action. Go on working. You cannot even sit for 1 second without that. And third is tamoguna. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohayam mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabhistan nibadhnati bharata. Tamoguna, darkness. Ajnanaja, born out of ignorance. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya, we say. Same thing here. Tamo means darkness. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehina. It will hypnotize all living beings. It will tie you down, bind you up, chain you up with pramadalasya nidrabhista nibadhnati. By error, accident, laziness, sleep. I don't have to tell you how powerful they are. We just, about 1 hour back, we all came out of it. Right now we are in Sattva Guna. That's why we are able to Jnana Sangha. It will tie you down with Jnana, knowledge process. Whereas after another 1 hour, you get into Rajoguna. There is a lot of heat in the environment and you keep running here and there and doing all kinds of things. And within Rajoguna only, all emotions like anger, all those things come up. And Tamoguna is by night. We all go into sleep. So these three gunas, of course, in the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, he has explained how the three gunas are there in everything. In food, in species, animals, different animals have different behavioral patterns, and in our own behavior life, three gunas are playing. We are slaves of the three gunas. We are tied up. So similarly, vikaransya gunansya, shadbhava vikara, I already told you. So Prakriti is made up of vikaras and gunas. And what is this Purusha doing? And not only that, vikaras and gunas, but karya karana kartrutve hetu Prakriti. See, obviously, in life, in universe, whatever you do, actions, karya, and their causes, and the ownership of those actions, they're all part of Prakriti because everything is based on the gunas and vikaras. There is nothing else. If you think of anything better than this, you let me know, your own model. Fundamental thinking. This is called fundamental thinking. So this is the Sankhya model. Now what about the Purusha? What is that fellow doing? Purusha sukhadukhanam bhoktrutve heturuchyate. He is only feeler, thinker, enjoyer. He will only enjoy these effects of Prakriti. That means he doesn't do anything. Everything is done by Prakriti. A Prakriti hai. So whatever we say is called Prakriti. Of course, in Vedanta, the same Prakriti became Maya. Now, in Shaivism, same Prakriti became Shakti. And same Purusha became Shiva. Now, these 24 darshanas include Shaivism, Vaishnavism, and all these things also. Vera Shaivism. And then Bhairava, Kapalikas, they worship Bhairava. And they performed human sacrifices. So, they were all condemned and converted back to the Vedic, pure Vedic Dharma by Adi Shankaracharya. So, all the 24 darshanas, in fact, before Shankaracharya, there were 72 religions in this country. So, he integrated all of them into one, that is Advaita. And luckily or unluckily, Islam and Christianity did not exist at that time. Even more challenging, alarming threat was from Buddhism and Jainism. Even right up to Nannaya's time, I came to know recently, Nannaya made a statement in the Mahabharata that why did he take up this project of writing Mahabharata in Telugu? He gave the answer, there are two threats. They are going to subsume or consume or swallow Sanatan Dharma. What are those two threats? Buddhism and Jainism, not Islam and Christianity at that time, 11th century AD. In India, Buddhism and Jainism, there were threats to the survival, the existential threats. And today, we have two other threats. You know that, the Islam and Christianity, whole world was finished by them. Only this part of the world survived without. The whole world was Sanatana Dharma. But they were all finished. Because there were no acharyas, they lost touch with the language, Veda, everything. They got degenerated to such an extent that they could not withstand the onslaught of the Christian and Muslim invasions. And they are all political colonization models. Only this part of India which is left today, it survived because of the strength of the people and the knowledge level of the people, which was upheld, which was brought up to this level through the acharyas. The acharyas never went outside India. That is the problem. If they had gone outside India like today all the gurus also go to America, everywhere, and they have a lot of followers, and it was not like that. It was prohibited to go outside India. Shankaracharya never left India. Ramanujacharya never left. Nobody will be permitted to leave India. So if they left India and went to other countries, then possibly other countries would have survived. Sanatana Dharma, Hinduism would have survived in other countries. So because they never went and they lost touch with the last text, Bhagavad Gita, and before that the Upanishads, they lost completely touch. They had a few temples. That's it. Temples to Temple of Sun and Temple of Moon and like that. So they did not have theoretical rigor to withstand the invasions of these fellows. So today we have that threat even in India. In Andhra particularly, it's a very serious threat. So my method of addressing that threat is to tell the scientific validity of our Shastras, because they have no scientific, they have no Shastra itself, and they have no Siddhanta, they have no Moksha, and they have no scientific methodology, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, nothing is there. So the purpose of delivering this course and these lectures is to strengthen the knowledge levels of the audience. Now each one of you can become a guru by yourself and then start spreading this knowledge to others in Hindu societies, youth particularly, so that they will have the strength to withstand and counter the aggressions from outsiders. And once the outsiders also start realizing there is no substance in what they are teaching, this is all hoax kind of thing, there is no substance. And when they see the kind of substance, the deep scientific content which is there in our Shastras, the Darshanas, they will automatically come for Gharvapasi. So the objective is finally Gharvapasi. Not only in India, but in outside India also. Not only for Hindus outside India, but non-Hindus also. Outside India also, in India also. Yeah, all were Hindus originally. They were converted. Just like Hindus were converted in India into other religions, outside countries also, they were converted into other. So we have to bring back, go global Gharvapasi through a scientific approach. That is the objective of these courses. So we have finished now Sankhya basic framework. The final, in fact, the first sutra of Sankhya Darshana is Trividha Dukkha Nivrittiratyanta Purusharthaha. So the greatest human effort is to overcome all the miseries in life, which are three categories: Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Adhyatmika. That's why we give the Shanti 3 times. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, and Adhyatmika. Adi Bhautika means physical problems. So including fiscal problems, that means financial problems. Everything is physical according to not only body physical, but financial or any other problem. It's called Adibhautika, physical. The second category is Adidaivika. That means, you have this earthquake, Burma and Thailand, China also, because of the Ashtagraha Kutami, Sashtagraha Kutami. And then we have the cyclones. In fact, they predicted for this year that there will be extreme heat wave conditions in May, and there will be heavy rains, maybe flood kind of thing. It is usual thing, it always happens. So these are Adhidaivika Dukkhas. And third is Adhyatmika. Adhyatmika is you don't have these two problems, but inside yourself you have problems. You talk nonsense, you provoke others, they will attack you, you attack them. In fact, I told a lot of people, see, look at that earthquake in Burma, so many people died. Here in India, there is no earthquake, nothing is there. But people create their own problems. They are very expert in that. That they are called Adhyatmika Dukkhas, internal to yourself. You create your own problems. You, by talking unnecessary things or talking provocative manner, inciting, exciting, provoking others, and then they will react and they will remember, they will take revenge on you, they will attack you, they will destroy you. So, and then there will be a war situation. The war situation is always ready to come up. It's only because of the misbehavior. So silence is golden. If you can control your thoughts, your mind, your words, then a lot of problems can be overcome. And within yourself, you can sit quietly. Like Rama said, I can go into this space or I can go under the water, but I cannot go into myself. People cannot go into themselves and sit for 20 minutes without anything calmly. That is yoga. Chitta vritti nirodha, calming the mind. So I told you about Sankhya Darshana. So if you can do that, then you will be free from these miseries. So that's why last sutra of Sankhya Darshana is Asangoyam Purushaha. This Purusha, that is the feeler, thinker, enjoyer, consciousness basically. Purusha word refers to consciousness. I. So when you realize that you are detachable from all these things, Asangaha, you are not part of Prakriti, but you are independent of Prakriti. The moment you realize that state, you reach that state of consciousness, you are liberated. By the way, all the darshanas, all the 25 darshanas aim at moksha. Of course, the moksha itself is not there in many of the, Charvaka, the death itself is moksha. But moksha is identified, is a freedom, free from miseries. So obviously when you die, you have no misery. And when you are alive, all the miseries which are coming, how to be disconnected or how to be free from them. The only way that's possible is when you disconnect from nature. Man or consciousness disconnects from nature is asangaha, asangoyam purushaha. If you remember that even during normal activities, this is nature, this is prakriti, this is how it will be. So I should not get disturbed or perturbed or involved or provoke or engage into fights and wars and all that. You remain with soberness, like a stone, like Himalaya mountain. Then automatically you are free from miseries of this kind. So basically, I gave you the summary of Sankhya Darshana. You can study. So you pick up a book, the Sankhya Sutras of Kapila. There are many books available. I cannot recommend a particular book. So now the question arises, how you are going to do that? Because obviously I told you it requires control of mind. So yoga chitta vritti nirodha, definition of yoga itself is controlling the mind. What is the time, Chitwa? How much time we have?
It is 7:35.
Okay.
We have 10 minutes for
No,
open
okay.
answers also.
I'll start Yoga Darshana. Of course, we will be covering Yoga Darshana more detailed in our yoga course. We have given you the yoga notes. Please read that. What is yoga? First chapter, yoga definition, meaning. So read that unit 1. And in that unit 1, you will find the definition of yoga, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha by Patanjali, and definition of yoga in Vedas, in Upanishads, in Gita, in Puranas, in Mahabharata, in Ramayana, everywhere. In fact, this whole culture, Sanatana Dharma, Hindu culture, is foundation is yoga. Believe it or not. It's a fact. So you take anybody, any personality in our Hinduism, in Sanatana Dharma, he has practiced yoga. Nobody is left out. And today also, you take anybody, even foreigners, even Hollywood stars, they all practice it to some extent or the other. They may not practice to the extent of what Patanjali told, but yoga is so popular now. In fact, yoga has stood the test of time for thousands of years. And today, India is identified as a great nation because of yoga. International Yoga Day is there. And even before that, throughout the globe, yoga practitioners, teachers, foreigners, all these people, they have been coming to India and learning and going and teaching. Of course, it's all meant for money making. Even then, yoga as a subject is greatly successful. More than anybody else, more than anything else. Because it has attraction of the health angle. Health, beauty, strength, all these things. So Patanjali, he extended the Sankhya Darshana, same Sankhya framework, Prakriti, Purusha, Gunas, Vikaras, and continues throughout in all the darshanas. But extensions are made or modifications are made. Like I told you, you come out with your own model of a darshana, then you can consider whether you will write commentaries or not. Even if you don't write commentaries, if you at least come out with your own model, that will be a great achievement. And if you write commentaries, then you will become Acharya in the line of Shankaracharya, Ramanacharya. So now this Yoga Darshana of Patanjali, why Patanjali? Is Patanjali the originator? No. Yoga Darshana is there in the Vedas itself, in the Upanishads itself, in Mahabharata, in Ramayana, in everywhere. Any book you take, Yoga Darshana will be there. Vemana, the greatest yogi, Vemana Yogi. Yogi Vemana University is there. So it is a continuous tradition till today. And it works. It works in overcoming the Trivida Dukkhas. That is Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika and Achyat. And it works towards the Asangoyam Purushaha. That is detachment from nature. So whatever happens in this world is because of nature. Oh, yata prakriti hai. They are not bothered. Our Swamiji used to say, oh, yata prakriti hai. So it will be like that only. It is its nature. The baby is crying, baby will cry. You don't have to be jumping about that, baby is crying like that. So if you're feeling hungry, hunger will be there. If you're feeling thirsty, thirst will be there. So nature is there going to be like that only with the gunas and the vikaras. Whereas I am not nature. I am the feeler, thinker, enjoyer, as Chinmayananda used to say. I am the pure self, pure consciousness. I am different. So I am going to just be the observer. I am the observer. Observer, feeler, thinker, enjoyer. I am not nature. I am not part of these processes of nature. So I am independent of birth, death, creation like this. So that Purushas, Atman, I, that is Avyayaha Purusha Sakshi, Kshetrajno Akshara Evacha. Vishnu Sahasranama makes it very clear. I am indestructible. I am always there. I am the knower of Kshetra. There is a whole chapter in Gita on Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. Idam Sariram Kaunteya. Kshetra ityuchyate etadjo vettitam praho kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. The self, which is knowing, feeling, thinking, enjoying Purusha. Avyaya Purusha Sakshi. Observer, feeler, thinker. Akshara evacha. So that Purusha, I am that and not nature. I have no connection with nature. I can remain independent. Asangaha. Asangoyam Purushaha, that statement which Kapila Muni gave, Patanjali materializes it through Samadhi. So in the first chapter, Samadhi Pada, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha, Tada Drashtu Swarupe Avasthanam, Vritti Sarupyamitaratra. Normally he is engaged in Chitta Vrittis, part of nature. Whereas in the sthiti of yoga, state of yoga, is in himself. Swarupe Avasthanam, independent of nature. That means no mind. Amanaskam. So when you are independent of nature and you are on your own, Swarupa, Nishtha, then you are free. You are liberated. You are free from all miseries. All the three types of miseries. Trividha dukkha nivrittihi atyanta purushartha. The highest human achievement is to overcome all the three miseries. So in that state of yoga, Drashtu Swarupe Avasthanam Vritti Sarupam Itaratra. So how to reach that state, that process? Of course, two fundamental things, Abhyasa, Vairagya, Abhyamtan, Nirodha. Through Abhyasa and Vairagya. Abhyasa is practice. Go on practicing. Practicing makes perfect. Tatra sthito yatno abhyasa. Satu dirghakala nairantarya satkara sevito dhrudha bhumi. It will be a strong foundation when practiced for a long time without break. You will be able to reach. You remain in yourself. So Vairagya, you cannot get peace of mind, or you cannot be in yourself if you are having a lot of desires. I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to go here, I want to stand in election, I want to become minister, I want to become prime minister. Why Modi should become? Why can't I become? Like this, if you think, then you will not be able to keep your cool or get into state of yoga. You will be. That's why they say Vairagya is essential. Drishta. What is Vairagya defined as? Drishta anusravika vishaya vitrishnasya vashikara sanya. Vashikara, conquest, complete control, overcoming, conquest of what? Cravings of objects, either seen, unseen, heard and unheard. Drishta anusravika vishaya vitrishnasya, vitrishna, visesha trishna, great craving. In fact, there is a hotel I saw a name with Cravery. The name of the hotel is Cravery. So craving, that is what is running this house. People are craving to do everything. Trishna, Pipasa, Drishtanusravika Vishaya Vitrishnasya Vashikara Sanya, to complete conquest of all these desires. That is called Vairagyam. Tat Param Purushakyate Gunavaitrishyam. It will take you to the Parama Purusha beyond the gunas. Tivra Samveganam Asannaha. Among those who try, there are categories. High category, fast, intense, they will reach fast this stage. Prudubadhyadi matratvat tatopi viseshataha. Then there are others who are going medium style and low, slow. Three categories. Fast, medium and slow. So according to your capacity or capability, you will reach that stage. And once you are able to reach the Samadhi stage, Asamprajnata Samadhi, Samprajnata Samadhi, Savichara Samadhi, Nirvichara Samadhi, Savitarka Samadhi, Nirvitarka Samadhi, Savikalpa Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Savija Samadhi, Nirbija Samadhi. Finished. With Nirbija Samadhi, you will reach total liberation. And with other Samadhis, you will reach other levels below that. Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Ramakrishna Paramsa is described to have reached Nirvikalpa Samadhi. You can see his Samadhi straight like this. His photo is there with the hand like this. He is in absorption with bliss, Satchidananda bliss. If you reach it, even for a few seconds, that's enough. You will be liberated. And before that, we have Savikalpa and we have Savichara, Nirvichara. Nirvichara Samadhi, Sunyavastha, total blankness. So this, how to reach Samadhi? For that purpose, we have the Yoganga Anushtana, Asuddhikshaya, Jnanadipti, Aviveka Khyate. Through the Anushtana, practice of the Yoga Angas, Yamani Yamasana Pranayama Pratyahara Dharana Jnana Samadhayo Ashtavangani. So you know all this Ashtanga Yoga. Satyahimsa Brahmacharya Asteya Parigraha Yama 5 Yama principles. Satyahimsa Brahmacharya Asteya Parigraha 5 Niyamas Shaucha Santosha Tapas Swadhyaya Iswara Pranidhana. Then Asana Sthiram Sukham Asanam Tato Dandvena Abhihataha. Then Pranayama. So what is Pranayama? The control of life force Prana. So why that Pranayama is a very crucial juncture of to the higher Antarangas, Bahirangas and Antarangas. Yamaniyamasa, Pranayamasa and Bahirangas. Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Jnana, Samadhi are Antarangas. So Pranayama will lead you to trance, which will lead you to Samadhi. So Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Jnana, Samadhi, one after the other, they come as one Samadhi. So once you reach Samadhi, you are liberated. As long as you are in Samadhi or even outside Samadhi, you can be maintaining the equipoise, equilibrium, samatha, Samadhi. So equilibrium, equanimity. That is the objective of Yoga Darshana. And then once you reach the Samadhi, you will get powers. You will get extraordinary powers. All our rishis had extraordinary powers, using which they have developed the sutras and the shastras and darshanas. Ordinary folks cannot even understand one word. All the people from other religions, they cannot understand one word. It's so abstract and so deep and so scientific. The shastrakaras, darshanakaras, sutrakaras, and then the bhashyakaras. They're all great people who have written. Bhashyakara means Shankaracharya is a Bhashyakara. He's not a Sutrakara. Who is Sutrakara? Vyasa is Sutrakara. Patanjali is a Sutrakara. So Ramanuja is a Bhashyakara. He wrote Bhashya to various Brahma Sutras and so on. So the Sutra literature, Sutra period is also there. During that time, only Sutras were written. Even Narada wrote the Bhakti Sutras. What is Bhakti? What are different types of Bhakti? Different procedures in Bhakti. So we have covered, touched upon Sankhya and Yoga Darshanas. We'll stop here and open up for discussion. Please free to ask any questions on what I spoke today. Not bring up all other things throughout your life and all. What is relevant for today, you ask.
Okay, Pantul garu. అడగండి పంతులు గారు తొందరగా.
I have two questions, sir. This Bhagavad Gita can also be considered as all this mix of all sutras, because you told 24 sutras. Bhagavad Gita consisting of all sutras. It can be a sutra.
No, 24 are not sutra, 24 darshanas.
Oh, sorry, 24 darshanas are covered in this Bhagavad Gita. It can also be treated as sutra.
No. See, it is in shloka form. Sutra form is different. See, in Sanskrit language, we have shlokas, mantras, sutras. Three different forms are there. In other languages, only one form or two forms are there, prose and poetry. In Sanskrit, we have four different forms. Prose and in poetry, shlokas are coming. Other than that, we have sutras, which are not shlokas. They are very deeply condensed. Like one sutra will be expanded into many pages. So the sutras are very, very powerful summary statement, declarations. Sutra Prayanga Chapanda, sorry, he just gives summary of it. If you expand, then it will go into big. So Bhagavad Gita is in the sloka form. It is a great text, greatest text. Eko de, in fact, there in the Gita Mahacham it is said, Sarvashastramayi Gita. The knowledge content in Gita is coming from all the Shastras. Next question.
No, sir. Answered, sir. The question I answered that.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
మహోదయ నమస్కారం. ఈ వికారాల గురించి ఒక్కసారి చెప్పండి మహోదయ.
వికారం అంటే ఇప్పుడు పుట్టటము, పెరగటము, మెచ్యూరిటీ అవ్వడం. మనిషిని చూడండి, మనిషి జీవితంలో ఏమవుతుంది? వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్? బర్త్, గ్రోత్, యూత్, దెన్ మెచ్యూరిటీ, దెన్ గ్రాడ్యువల్ డీజనరేషన్, decay and death. 6 vikaras. Any body in this world, not only human body, any item, with mobile phone also, it goes through all the 6. Even a stone, the time factor may be large, but everything goes through the 6 vikaras, without which there is no srishti.
అంటే including stones, sir?
Naturally, see, what are these stones? They're all once upon a time lava. When lava cools down, it becomes granite. So lava was ejected out of the volcano. At that time, they were born.
సో ఎవరు నా వికారాల నుంచి తప్పించుకోలేరు.
Millions of years ago, these rocks were born. Now they are in the sustenance stage. And again, sometime when the pradaya comes, they will all evaporate. Now they all been converted into buildings. All the buildings which you see here, if you remember in our younger days when we take a train to Bombay, it was going through all stones. And all those stones have now become buildings, skyscrapers.
It is. అంటే వికారాల నుంచి ఎవరు తప్పించుకోలేరు.
Shadbhava vikaram is Prakriti, is part of nature. Only Purusha is independent. You understand? So, if you think you are not Purusha, then you are suffering all these things. The moment you realize you are Purusha, Asangoyam Purusha. You are independent. You are not going to be affected by Shadvikaras. Purusha ante Atma, ante Bhagavan. All are same. If once you reach that stage of realization, then you are unaffected by this. You have to be in that stage. You have to realize that. That is the objective of all the Shastras and all Darshanas. How to become free from miseries. Because once you are affected by the Vikaras and Gunas, then you are going to suffer. For sure. And we are suffering. We know that. I don't have to tell you that you are suffering. You are suffering, you know it, I know it. So, how to be free from suffering? That is through the yoga process of being and reaching the self state. Purusha. Avyaya Purusha Sakshi Kshetrajno Akshara Evacha. And immediately said Yogoha, Yoga Vidam Neta. So he has reached that through yoga and we can also reach. Okay.
ధన్యవాదాలు మహోదయ. నమస్కారం.
There is a question in the chat box. Sankhya speaks about 3 gunas. Can we call Kapila as the first psychologist? What is the role of Sankhya in exploration of human personality?
Yeah. See, the 3 gunas are in the human personality, all right, but they are there in everything. They are there in animals also. They are there in stone also. They are there in, you take any object, 3 gunas will be there. That 3 opposites. Like Tamoguna is just being static, Jada. And Rajoguna is motion, dynamism. So 2 opposites are there. So without the 2 opposites, there is no equilibrium. Nothing exists without the opposites. And Sattva is something behind this, beyond these 2 also. Radiance, brilliance, light, transcendence, sublimation, higher level, spiritual level kind of thing. So without the opposites, there is nothing in this world. Everything in this world, living and non-living also, is having the equilibrium of the gunas. Otherwise, they cannot exist. And human personality, yes, of course. So that's why the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, the Varnashrama, Dharma is created out of 3 gunas only. Brahmana is Sattva Guna Pradhana. Doesn't mean he doesn't have Rajoguna. He will also have those things, but Pradhana is Sattva Guna. And Kshatriya is Rajoguna Pradhana. So like that, not only humans, but animals are like cow is having more sattva guna, whereas tiger and lion are full of rajoguna. And our pig and hippopotamus and buffalo, they're all donkey. They're experts in what? Tamoguna. So in the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, you'll see the complete entire creation made up of three gunas only. In fact, somebody went to the extent of giving there are three types of atoms: sattvatrons, rajastrons, and tamastrons.
Okay, what is pratyahara? That is one of the questions.
Yeah, prachara is withdrawal from the external world, going into yourself. That is the beginning of dharana, jhana, samadhi. Samadhi is total absorption into yourself. Prachara is the beginning, withdrawal. The word pratyahara. Prati means opposite. Withdrawal function from the external world into introversial condition. From extroversial to introversial transition. That's called prachara.
Okay,
That will automatically come after pranayama once pranayama is successful. Yeah, next.
Srihar Garu.
Sir, good morning, sir. Sir, you told that Kapila Mahamuni is a Amsha of Vishnu or Brahman. So when he himself is a Brahma and he has taken the stance of this Nirishwara, Sankhya. So that means he is depending or he has created.
No. It's not like that. It is all wrong. Wrong track you are thinking. Stop that wrong track. Listen carefully. See, he is one of the avatars of Vishnu. As per the Puranas, Bhagavad Purana, 24 avatars. 10 avatars you are familiar, right? Matsya, Kurma, Varaha,
24.
Total 24. Kapila Muni is one of them. Dattatreya is also one of them.
Correct.
And even Rishabhadeva, the founder of Jainism, is also one of them. So they're all there. See, the point is that they're manifestations in history. Who is avatar? Avatar is a human or non-human manifestation of the divine power in history, in time sequence. Please remember that. There is a time sequence at a particular time. Kapila Muni existed, not today. Some particular time. When Kapila Muni existed, others did not exist. Other avatars came later. When Rama existed, Krishna did not exist. Correct? So, different time periods, different avatars were sent, so to say, yada yada dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudhanam adharmasya tada atmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanadhaya sambhavapi yuge yuge. So, in every yuga, the avatars are coming.
Correct.
So, at that particular time, which is much before all the other avatars, Kapila Muni avatara came. You know when it was? When the Sagara sons dug up the earth, and that's how the ocean became, and they went to him and he opened his eye and they all became Bhasma. So at that time, so to save them, Ganga was brought by Bhagiratha right from Himalayan top, from Swargam to Calcutta. Kapila Muni Ashram is a Ganga Sagar Sangam at Diamond Harbour at Calcutta. I went there along with Gautam Mukherjee. So that this is a time sequence. When he was there, no other avatar was there. So other avatars came later. He didn't say Nirishwara. He was silent. So Purusha himself is, see, finally what happened? Purusha is Ishvara. What is Ishvara? Avyaya Purusha Sakshi Kshetra Jno Avyaya. So it's an evolution of philosophical thought which came out with different versions. Okay?
Sir, one small question, sir.
Yeah.
This Dvaitam, Advaitam, Visishtadvaitam.
Yeah.
With one example, can you please explain? I am stuck up with one.
No, all the three are different perspectives of the same thing. I met a lot of scholars and asked them this question. So they told all the three, they are not contradictory, but they are different perspectives of the same truth. And the same truth is beyond all models. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. So words cannot explain. They are giving different models. Now, for example, a simple way of explaining the reconciliation between the three. is a perspective, from the perspective of God. Okay? Purusha eva idagam sarvam yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam. Okay? So it is Advaita only. There is nothing other than God. It is Advaita, non-dual. But the moment you say bhakti, oh, I pray, oh Lord, that means I am there and you are there, two are there. Dvaita is there. So if you remain Dvaita in Dvaita Siddhanta, there are various types of moksha. That is Salokya. You go to Vaikuntham, then that itself is moksha. Which is very difficult, impossible to go. Ah Brahma Bhavana Loka Punara Vrittinorjuna Mamapechyat Kaunteya Punarjanma na labhyate. Even if you go to Brahma Loka, you will be born again as human. But if you go to Vaikuntha, you will be not born again. So he told that. So that is Salokya Mukti. And Sarupya, if you become similar to him, then that is definitely higher level Mukti. And Salokya Samipya, you go close to him. You are like Jaya Vijayas. Then you are always there. And Sayujya, you are merged. You are not there anymore, only he is there. Sayujya Mukti. So that is also valid. Dvaita is also valid. Normally it is Dvaita only. See, in practical life, we are living in Dvaita. So we say, what is Visishta Dvaita? Visishta Dvaita is you are initially Dvaita, but finally you become one, Advaita. So all the three are valid. Not only all the three, all the 25 are valid in different levels of perception. All are valid.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I think Babu garu, now we can go for Prarthana, and in case any questions are there after the Prarthana.
Okay. Jai Sri Garu.
Oh, yes. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणः सन्तु निर्भयाः पुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतं सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान् मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त सन्मङ्गलानि सन्तु स्वस्ति श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः
ధన్యవాదములండి. Now let's
ధన్యవాదాలు.
go for national anthem. చల్లా చిరుబాబు గారు.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद जय हिंद
జై హింద్. ధన్యవాదములండి.
Are there any questions further?